The Record of Bergen County, the Star Ledger, the Daily Record, and they did cover Parsippany, but usually all the bad things that might occur. How many arrests, how many accidents, who got into a fight at town hall. It was just whatever they could do to diminish our town, they did it. Along came Frank, and it was delightful. Good news only. Good news about scouting, good news about the Little League, good news about the Chamber of Commerce, what was transpiring in town hall, a bond sale we were offering directly to our residents. All the good things that make a community where people want to raise a family, buy a home, and reside for a long, long time. And Frank has done this for 25 years. He's actually outlived all the politicians that were around in those days, and a lot of them that came since. Oh, that's true. Yeah, Mike, we don't know what Mike is. But I just want to congratulate Frank, not only for longevity, for doing a really great job, and as I said before, for making Parsippany look like the town it really was.
But I did find a couple pages that had my picture on it. I was kidding. But actually, I ran against Frank and I lost. But I do remember we had a pretty good time during that campaign. We actually agreed on a lot of things.
Right there. The campaign's right there.
There is a Oh, right. Okay.
That's the one page had her picture.
No, that's a 2-page.
Really, but you know, it really is true that having good media in a community is incredibly important. And right now, we have a terrible problem because the bigger media has kind of all disappeared. And if it weren't for Frank being there, nobody would know what was going on in this town. And that is a real danger when people don't understand that, because it doesn't really allow your government to function as it should, because they're kind of operating in a vacuum. And that's what would happen if Frank weren't there. And I don't know how he does it. He must never sleep. But I'm very grateful that you're doing it. And congratulations.
People to come out, and they always put me on the spot, and it was very difficult to do it. But I was lucky enough to find Frank, who was the only one out of maybe 4 or 5 newspapers I emailed to reply to my email. So that's the way I found Frank, and ever since I've been helping him. I go around to events, I take pictures, I also help out with advertising, I sell ads, create ads. If anybody is interested in advertising on Focus, please feel free to see me. Always looking for something to do. I'm a member of the 200 Club, an active member in the Office of Emergency Management. I enjoy community service. I enjoy helping the residents of Parsippany. I've lived here all my life, and I love Parsippany, and I want to do everything I can.
Why couldn't you hear?
I was sleeping.
Oh, is that 20 minutes of the day?
And I have a lot of other people that will call me at 6 o'clock in the morning when there's accidents or things, and I run out and take pictures.
Come back as a member and to be our executive board member as well. But you know, I'm honored that he serves all the nonprofit groups. He's done so much for the Rotary Club, the Kiwanis, whether it's the Stickley House, whatever it is, he always stands ready to help, and he's there for us, not only in reporting but in as a person. And Frank, when you get to know him, he's a special person. He's a good friend. So I'm honored to celebrate the 25 years with him. And he's still asking me, but I have a lot of those articles that are in those books there in the original newspapers. So one day Frank will get those. But I'm holding on to them now. So they're worth something to me because it's special. Because when I grew up in Parsippany, that was my newspaper I got when I was younger at my house, and it was one of the best publications. And now it's an online publication. And it's still one of the best.
There was something called Diversidial, which was if you had an Apple IIG, which dates us completely, there was like 8 slots. You could have a modem in 8 slots. So these people would have these things called D-dial, which meant Diversidial, but they would link to each other. So, but you'd have to take up one of the spots. So there was 3 of them linked. That means 21 people could be chatting. And we used to get together because Frank would want to collect his dues. So we'd have him at the bowling alley, that kind of thing. So that's how Frank and I met. But interesting thing, I don't know if you remember, Frank, I was the one that landed the hop as an account, which later on became a partnership of sorts, right? We set up office after there. But one of the things I want to do is I want to take a brief moment to remember Jerry Rexon. She was a really interesting woman. She,
Best newspaper sales person
without
I've ever met.
question, without question. Like I learned a lot. You know, I'm in the mental health field now, but I learned a lot just about persistence from her. And I still remember like it was not that far ago. This is Jerry Rexon from the Parsippany Focus. Would you like to run your ad again? You have to run it 4 to 7 times before someone sees it, you know? And she was right. You know, she was right. And she probably was like, Frank, who is this 18-year-old that you have? You know, I think my hair was probably just as long at the time. But anyway, Frank, it's a huge accomplishment. I'm really glad that you kind of rekindled the thing for the Focus. It might sound, I love NASCAR, so I'm kind of enjoying the crash coverage a lot on Focus lately. But I would like to see some more of the good news, so thanks to my buddy Frank. Also the best man at my wedding.